Well, Phil, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. I didn't get done everything I wanted to because the weather was too pretty, but we went out and did some biking, my wife and I, and that was fun.
Oh, good. It was a nice weekend to do that kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta love April.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Well, what would you like for us to discuss today? What would you like to talk about?
Well, it's kind of what I just said about didn't get done what I really intended to this weekend. It seems like that's kind of the story of my life.
Hmm.
Is having things I want to get to, and they keep getting interrupted, and I can't seem to get done what I want to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Now, you think in terms of your personal life, your work life,
well, yes,
both?
but as I thought about this a little bit, I think maybe the area I'd like to zero in on is some of the planning at work.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like the tyranny of the urgent reigns at my workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And the long range planning, the big picture stuff that I really want to get to is constantly being shoved off because there's always something urgent last minute that invades my time. And consequently, I just don't get some of that long range planning done. And that's sort of where I feel like I need some help.
Right. So basically, you need to find a way to devote time to not just the immediate things, but to the long range kind of things that really you want to be quality,
Exactly.
but you need to invest yourself in planning for those things.
And that's where I feel like my time is most valuable, but
Mhm.
that's what's constantly being put off.
Okay. So what are the interruptions? What things keep you from doing this kind of long range planning?
Well, as I'm an associate pastor in a church, and so it's that little line in the job description that says other duties as assigned.
Right.
More realistically, it's all the people, and people are important to me.
Sure.
And so concerns come up, or people call with needs, and I just feel like I need to respond. And in this day and age, it's email.
Right.
You've got a lot of email the way through, and a lot of those are important things, but the day is cluttered with interruptions.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say is the major challenge? Is it managing interruptions, setting aside time, creating some boundaries to give you the space that you need? What do you need to do?
I think probably just set aside time.
Mm-hmm.
Administrative assistant will help guard my office if I tell her this time is blocked off.
Right.
It's just really setting that time, taking that time, and doing what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think is the biggest issue, and then and really making that a focus time that I use constructively. That's the main battle.
So this is really an important concern for you.
I think it has to be,
Mm-hmm.
because it's being a responsible steward, responsible with what I've been entrusted with to make sure that I'm planning well.
Right. Well, what are some things that you could do to make sure that you have that quality time for planning?
Probably just select a time and really carve it out and guard it.
Okay. What's the most difficult part of that? Selecting the time, carving it out, or guarding it?
Probably selecting it.
Selecting it, okay.
Yeah.
So in your work week, are there particular times when you feel more freedom to pull aside and do this kind of planning?
Yeah, there's an ebb and a flow. Every week's different, but Monday's usually fairly chaotic with staff meeting and catching up from Sunday, and Wednesdays are notoriously busy. People are starting to come around, and there's things to get ready for Wednesday night, and
Right.
I'll be teaching a class and that kind of thing. So those 2 days are pretty hectic. Probably Tuesday is the day of the week that I have the most freedom to call my own, and more often than not could carve out a block of time.
Right. When would that be during the day? Would it be morning, afternoon?
Well, I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
I'm kind of known as the one that keeps the later hours around the office. So generally, by the time I get in the morning, people are looking for me, and the emails have piled up, and the morning is sort of catch up time. So I'd say, in the afternoon, is going to be better for me.
Okay. And where's the best place to do that?
Well, it almost has to be my office, because what I'm going to do is going to be a combination of getting online to look at materials that might be available, making some calls to key people that are, teachers or resource people, and browsing books, and those kind of come together best if I'm in my office.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What steps do you need to take to start setting aside this kind of time? Is there a particular block there you can set aside? Is there some help that you need in order to set aside that time? Do you need to get permission from anybody to set aside that time?
Well, I'm blessed in that I am my own boss,
Mm-hmm.
and I can pretty much determine that. I think it's probably just me making up my mind
Okay.
and saying I'm going to do it.
Okay. So when would be the best time for you to do this?
Well, as I think about the day, again, you come back from lunch and a few things have piled up, and so probably it'd be later afternoon. Things quiet down, starting mid-afternoon, and I'm usually in the office late. So maybe if I look toward that 3 to 5 window,
Mm-hmm.
or 3:30, 5:30, somewhere in there, I think it'd be the easiest for me.
Okay. So you could do the 3 to 5 block.
And just sort of block that. Yeah, I think I could.
Yeah. Can you do that next week, or will you do that next week?
Oh, you're wanting me to get really do this now, aren't you?
Yeah. It would be good to go ahead and decide if you want to do this and make a specific commitment.
Yeah. Well, you're right, and it really is important, and I think that is the best time. So yeah, I'll start next week.
Okay. Is there anyone that can help you to make sure that you set aside this time? Do you need anybody to help you protect that particular period of time?
Well, I think I'll mention it to the administrative assistant that's outside my office, that I'm
Okay.
going to probably put my phone on do not disturb and close the door, and why I'm doing it, and that way she can help if folks need me to tell them when I'll be available again, and she'd be a good ally.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll be together again next week,
Mm-hmm.
and I look forward to hearing how that works out for you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thank
Okay,
you.
great.
All right. See you next week.
Okay.